Welcome to the Time Talk Podcast, sponsored by Rack Fuel, premium deer nutrition. Fuel your herd.
Time Talk, episode 5. Blood's been shed. Congrats to Jake E. Yes, sir.
Buck
There
on
you
the
go, kid.
ground.
Hell yeah.
Hey. So man, jump right in. What was the experience like? Public land, Iowa Buck Hill.
Everyone's dying to hear.
Everyone's dying to know.
The public land was the newest part about it. Never hunted any public up here hardly at all. But yeah, I went down November 1st. Down there for kind of 2.5 days. Didn't see much. Come back for the weekend. Hunted up here for Ray because we got pictures of him. Went back down on Wednesday again. The 8th. Hunted that night, saw a few bucks. Then I went back to the pond that was close by the park and where I was hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday morning, sitting all day. Thursday, around like 9:30, I think, I saw a little spike. I think it was actually like a 1-pointer spike. Saw a hammy come and got a drink at the pond. Didn't see anything till 2:15, 2:30. And a pretty nice buck. I think it was like a mainframe 10 with a split G2 is what it looked like, running through, chasing a doe at like 75 yards, grounded at him. Did all I could. They kept going. And then 3-year-old 8 probably, and another smaller 8 were also on her tail. So she was definitely ready to go. And
Explain.
Everybody knows what I mean. So they went through. The real small one come back. I got a drink at the pond. I got some good footage of him. And then nothing again after those deer until my buck came in like 20 minutes before dark. He came in from the same spot they did, kind of straight away from me, trotting in. Must have been just cruising because he was by himself. And then he kind of slowed down when he got close to me. Stopped all by himself. I didn't even stop him right at 15 yards. He was kind of up on the side hill, so he was like kind of even with me almost. Just perfect. Stopped and gave me plenty of time because I was still kind of messing with the camera and my bow.
Mm-hmm.
He heard me draw, so he looked at me. And then in the video, you can kind of tell he was like fading away. He was about to start walking right as I shot, but made a good shot. Went like 75 yards. You can hear him crash. He was just out of sight, so I couldn't quite see him, but knew he was dead because you could easily hear it was super calm out. So
Yeah.
it was pretty cool how perfect it was.
Roasted that thing too. I watched the footage. Was he, I know he's real close to, how close were you to that pond? You think he was legit coming for water or just cruising by there?
No, because I was like on the right side of the pond. My pond was down behind me to the left kind of. I was 10 yards from the pond, but he kind of skirted the side of it.
Maybe it wasn't even coming to drink.
Yeah.
Or maybe would have looped around. Who knows?
Yeah, there's all sorts of trails going into that, so he could have been kind of going around the backside of it. But, yeah, I kind of come in as perfect as he could right there, 15 yards, stop, slightly quartering away. Like I said, hammered him, and he went. I'm surprised he even went 75 yards, honestly.
Yeah.
The last couple of deer that I hit double lung perfect shot, or they went like 30, 40 yards.
Yeah.
But
Tipped.
Well, I love that shot angle. They're a little bit quartering away. You can just aim at that offside shoulder, and
You just got so much more room for error. too,
exactly.
even when you do-
yeah,
I probably even could have been even a little bit forward more, try to get the heart, but
yeah.
I didn't even touch the heart. It was just double lung, but
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter
Perfect.
at that point.
And I stay away. Yeah, the heart's great, but if you miss right, hit the heart. Don't aim for the heart. Miss right, hit the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You're in trouble.
then it's a bad day. Yeah.
Bad day. There's
Bad
tears
day.
shed. One thing I noticed watching that video, obviously, you could maybe shed some light on it, but the nuts on that deer. Did you notice? Notice them as he was coming in, or was this something you saw in the video afterwards? Because
No, I didn't.
I've never
when
seen
he was
anything
gutting him
like-
out.
Probably
Probably,
not even, yeah.
By the way, it's
but
like,
your video shows it perfectly.
doesn't
I'm
surprise
like,
any of us at all that you're the one that noticed
Yeah.
that for sure.
no.
I pointed it out to him because you said it.
No, but I did not notice it on the way in. I didn't notice it until me and Cole got there to gut him out. But as soon as we flipped him over, I was like, holy shit.
What was that?
Dude, when
Jake
you
was
hung
just
those
like-
nuts on the tree, did the tree fall over?
Damn, you had to find a sturdy tree.
Yeah.
Keeping this as PG as possible, but you're the one who gutted him out. Did you call it a bad case of the blue nuts or what?
I don't
What?
know. Jake just started, and it was like a little scene out of Billy Madison. He's like, "Goo!"
Dude, they were like, I noticed it
I don't-
immediately. I was like, what the hell is wrong?
But even
I
when,
told him, I was like, these are, well, you saw them, but I was telling everybody else, I'm almost positive they're like bigger than like a grapefruit or
They
They
looked
were-
like a couple
softball.
of coconuts
it
between
was,
his legs.
he definitely had something because when he gutted him, like when you start to pull out the piss sack, like there was like white stringy stuff all
Yeah.
along it, going up into the intestines. So yeah, he had something going on.
Goofy.
Jeez.
It was weird. He had a big body, but yeah.
Yeah, he did have a big
His-
body, though. We'll have to put that on Instagram, make a poll out of that. What
I
people
will
think
say-
age-wise.
I will say that drag, I don't know how you guys did it from that back spot
Yeah, dude.
Way back.
because that was only what,
Maybe 200 yards.
and like it kind of sucked because it was like on the side of the hill, so he's like falling down into the trees. I don't know how you did it that far because even
That's
that it was
way
like
farther, man.
dude.
That's wild.
That's insane.
that's you
You
get
guys
props
didn't-
to some people, like say some guys by himself down there, or say like if I was hunting public and I was way in that back spot, I'd be like,
I'm not
what
shooting
the
that
hell
deer
do I
'cause
do with
wanna
this thing?
try
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
You guys
better
didn't even
some
have
friends.
a deer cart or anything, did you?
No, we did not. There was 5 of us, those that helped. 4.5 because Damon had a torn ACL at the time. He helped out
Oh,
He was
guy didn't
there.
help at all.
very little. He coached and held the light, so I guess it's worth
so
something.
that's got to be
but-
like
Coached.
a guy, like any guy hunting back there. That's almost got to be on their mind on
oh yeah,
how to get a deer out. I mean,
yeah. That's why a lot of guys, if you're going down there alone, you almost have to have one of them carriers or.
that's why I told him, I was like,
because it's just not going to
thank
happen.
God you were hunting this parking spot because holy
That
man.
definitely,
spot.
You needed to
definitely
call
was
some in.
part of the.
The worst part is
decision.
it's at night and you don't know the area extremely well, and you don't take a straight shot back to the parking lot. It's I think this way is the best. I think that way is the best, and
Yeah.
then you learn it real quick after you're down there a few times. But I know that 1 mile drag was not in a straight line. It was
Yeah,
who
Went
knows what
extra
part really was.
Did you guys
500
go?
yards.
Drug them up the same creek bank two, 3 separate times.
Did you go up over that hill where that walking path is?
Oh yeah, way up over that hill, and then down
Jeez.
across the creek, and then through the pines. You know where that big pine knob is in the back. I mean, it was beyond that, even farther. And there's probably a closer parking lot, but when you started there, you didn't know
Yeah.
how far he was going to go. You
Yep.
just continued on, and that was a deer. Longest track shot was probably the deer Aaron Honesy shot. I mean, that was way back there,
Yeah.
but it was fun. We were also in college, and I was in a little better shape than so was everybody
Yeah.
else. And at that time, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you've got adrenaline through the roof. I mean,
Big
it was
yeah.
165-inch deer. I mean,
Speaking of adrenaline, did you get
first bull
pumped
buck
up
is also
watching them come in? Were you shaking a little bit?
I honestly didn't really shake that bad, but my heart was definitely pumping. Yeah, especially as trotting in right away.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
shit,
saw
oh,
him,
shit,
you're
oh,
like,
shit.
oh, he's got a big body. I think that's what you said.
I noticed
away.
his body immediately because it was like starting to get dark.
Yeah.
It's like just a big dark blob
Blob
running. I was like,
coming through.
Jesus, it's a bear or a horse.
yeah.
I'll definitely have to put that screenshot on Instagram. Well, I put it in the picture, like
Yeah.
a couple of pictures that you guys had. Yeah.
And then
that's-
we were,
that's a
when
good
I got
pull.
back here, we were looking at the footage right
Yeah.
as he's kind of facing right at me. You can
Mhm.
really see his sack too. It's
When
freaking-
he's facing at you,
yeah, dude, you're gonna have to look
If you
at
ever,
it.
the Billy Goat farms where you see the big Billy Goat in the herd, that's what it reminded me of. His sack was
Big.
unbelievable. But
wow.
well, wait till you see it. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see the amount of
Oh,
views
I
we get
saw
on
it in
that
person.
short reel
Just 'cause
or the mini reels. The next mini reel Mitch posts.
yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's fun.
You'll have to
Yeah.
check it out.
So it's
everyone.
pretty much just hunting over a pond and kind of like a pinch point, pretty much how you killed him.
Yeah, I was hunting that back stand where we were just talking about long walk.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a good spot, like way back on a ridge. You'd think for like midday movement. There's a pond back there too.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see very many deer back there. I was surprised. And then we're remember we went shed hunting back there one of the first years we were down there. I remember going by that pond and seeing some big trails. So I just thought of it because it's close to the park, and I just went and checked it out. There was like 5 scrapes all around the edge of it and a whole bunch of trails, and I saw a couple rubs and stuff too that looked fairly fresh.
Yeah.
I was like, it's worth it to – I was going to throw one of my Tacticams up, but it didn't have any service in that spot. So I didn't even leave it there. It wasn't worth it if I wasn't getting pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I just hung my Lone Wolf set close to it, and it was actually a really good tree because 2 of the trails crossed real close, and there was actually an old fence there that they went over right at a down spot. So it was,
That's awesome.
it was good.
Well, it's kind of nice indicator too is when you took me there to recover your deer. I mean, you walk up that path to go to your backstand, and right when you take a left to go to the pond, there's a scrape right there. Like, so it's like, okay,
Yeah, that's what I
mean,
used as my
here's a scrape,
to
and then
go
here's a
into the
pond
woods.
over here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a nice little spot.
I'm glad you found that spot. I should have a tag next year.
Speaking of Tacticams, though, did you run any cameras before or anything, or what did you do camera wise?
Yeah, over the summer I had 2 in there, both of them back by that back stand. I had one right on the edge of the pond, and then one right by my tree stand up on the ridge.
Yep.
That one I got decent amount. I made a mock scrape during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I had a decent amount of pictures on. The other one it didn't have very much service because down in the hole where that pond was. I got some pictures from that one, but yeah, way in the back there's not great service.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I got one shooter on camera all summer long. So I wasn't really
Too
relying on the cameras anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can't. There's big enough bucks in that area. Which, with you not getting shooters on camera, I was a little surprised to be honest. But I think in the fall they pile in. Most of that public doesn't have crops. They're not coming in there.
that made me
anything.
a little bit nervous, but I was like, it's such a big woods here. There's going to be deer moving. And then
Yeah.
when I went down the first time, I stayed with Damon for a few days.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, look at these. And he's showing me his camera from back in there, the previous 2, like last year and then a couple of years. And
Yeah.
had some big ones
That
in
got
there.
you
so-
pumped
And
up
his-
again to get back
Yeah,
out there.
and his cousin saw the biggest one yet, and I don't think he's got footage of it. And he knows a big buck when he sees one. He's
Yeah, and I
showing
mean,
you.
we touched on it, last episode or 2. I mean,
Yeah.
can't really look into your cameras come rut time. I
Yeah.
mean, we were just talking about all the bonus bucks arriving. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know whether they were in that area before they showed up on camera or not. I mean,
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Quick question for you, before we get to our bonus buck segment, because we did have some exciting news there. But
True.
obviously the public worked out for you this time. I mean, you draw a tag in 4 to 5 years, maybe 6 if you're unlucky. But you plan on doing public again? Is that something you're pretty much set on now? I mean, where are
I
you
don't know,
at there?
There's pros and cons to it. Pro is, to pay for a lease was one of my main reasons this year. I didn't want to pay for one.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you have other options.
Yeah, cons, there's a lot more work. But like I said, I kind of almost took a lazy route out. I found a spot that was close to a parking lot, so I didn't have a drag a mile back in. But you can kill deer on public, that's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. If I were to find a cheap lease, that'd be nice. Obviously, you don't have to worry about people, but I didn't run into a lot of people. The only thing that I did not like on that spot that I sat was all the cars driving by. I could actually kind of see the road. Like, I was far enough and through the woods enough where I don't think anybody's ever going to see me. So it's like in the parking lot is like over a hill. It's like my stand wasn't really that exposed, but it's just kind of annoying when you got cars driving by all the time. Gravel road coming down a hill.
You're
It's
back
pretty
in there
loud.
pretty good too. I'm surprised you saw as much traffic as you did. I mean, how much was there a car every hour or more than that? I mean,
Oh yeah, I bet there was for sure.
really? So I bet and I would argue that 90% of the cars that take that road are hunters of some sort. I mean, whether they're looking for deer or
I could
just
well,
tell-
yeah, looking at that road,
because the road's a
Yeah.
rough road and
It's what do they call it?
it's a level B road. Level B.
And I could tell that some, like when I was in the parking lot a couple times changing or something, I could tell some of the traffic was there's a couple houses close by. Like there's a couple of minivans going by, which somebody could be hunting out of a mini.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
But there's
Maybe.
a couple like work trucks that went through too.
Yeah.
So I know they're not hunting, obviously, but
Well, if
Yeah.
I was on my work route, I would make a way through there.
Quick stop.
Scouting.
Lunch
Yeah.
break. Did you are you gonna go through your tax cams and see if you like got any pictures? It'd be interested to see if
I was
you,
thinking about that too.
Yeah.
Damon told me, he's like, I wouldn't be
didn't send to
surprised
you?
if not all of them sent. but
Yeah, that's happened to me before too, but
I don't think we've ever done that.
I do that every year.
I was surprised last year when, obviously majority of them sent, but there was a couple of clips where I would get 1 or 2 pictures of a good buck, and then like, oh, but I didn't quite get the angle you're 100% looking for, and then you
Yeah.
go back and pull the chip after the season, and you see the couple of pictures that you had sent to you, and then you get a different one in the same series that was a lot better angle or a real good look at them. I had numerous times that happened.
Yeah, requesting that HD is a game changer
That's
too.
money. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
we just did that on one of the nice bucks we have up here.
Yeah,
A couple of really good pictures of them.
yeah,
Yeah, you can really see the detail to his rack because before it was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot him, but we didn't really know how much to gauge him. But now it's like,
Oh yeah.
I showed
I
those-
don't think I'm gonna pass that deer.
It helps.
I showed those pictures to Dad because we showed him obviously pictures before, but none with like the HD, and none of them are great pictures. He was leaning towards like not shooting them,
Yep.
and I just showed him the HD ones. So he's looking right at the camera on one, and then there's
Yeah.
a side shot about HD. And he's like, "Oh, what buck is this? This buck needs an arrow." I was like, "This is the same one I
This buck
showed
needs
you."
an arrow.
It's like, "This is the same one I showed you like a few weeks ago." Well,
Well,
he needs a good shot.
It's almost my turn. I think he turned into a shooter. But no, that's good. That's good. You had good luck in public, and I know I've had roommates, past buddies have awesome luck too, and it's almost a little bit refreshing seeing that. It's us going to have a tag next year. It really makes me
hopefully.
question. Yeah,
Fingers
hopefully
crossed.
nothing's guaranteed there, but makes you question what do you want to do down there, and there's pros and cons to hunting that public. And my opinion, the biggest con for me is just the people and the chance that somebody can walk right through there and wreck your hunt, or especially if there is a mega giant in the area that everybody's dreaming of. Maybe that word gets out and then that area starts getting pounded.
And that was one of my big reasons too.
It's hard to know.
I know that there was people hunting close because I was in the stand in the morning pretty early the one time, and I saw it at the close spot, and I saw lights go by, and then the truck stopped like right after, so I know he was hunting close.
Oh,
And then same thing in the evening, I heard a couple trucks turn on and leave while I was walking out. So there's people hunting close by.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody walk by me, but they're in the same piece.
it's
But
tough.
yeah, I shot them on Thursday. I had Friday off, and then the weekend I hunt. But I didn't have any more time off of work after that this next week.
Mhm.
So I don't know. That went into my decision or to shoot him. Obviously, like I said, he was kind of a tweener, but I'm happy with him, especially
Yeah.
being on public. First time being out of state. He's a nice looking buck, nice 10, big body and everything. But
Could be your oldest one, TBD.
yeah,
It's hard
I
to
took
say.
the head, and he said he's gonna test the age.
Oh, are you? Where did
Yeah.
you take it to?
Jeff Larson, he's by Osseo, kind of.
Doing a little Euro mount?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So he said
Cool.
he's gonna check the jaw and see if he can age it. But yeah, there's the one thing I liked about public is not knowing what's gonna walk by.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, could not agree more.
That's
That's
so-
such a
every
so
time.
exciting.
Yeah, every time you hear like
Mhm.
sometimes you can tell if it's for sure a deer or not. Like by the steps, you can't see it yet. It's like I grab my bow every time I hear a deer coming because it could be a booner, it could be a
Yeah.
spike. You don't know.
Oh, for
How-
sure.
So what do you think the hardest thing about hunting like on public was? Was it maybe all the other hunters around, or was it like lack of movement, or like what were you seeing over there?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like I said, I didn't really have to worry about hunters that much, I guess, just because I didn't see anybody walk by close, like
Yeah.
the two spots that I was hunting. But
Yep.
just trying to figure out where the movement is. Like I said, the first kind of trip by, it was real slow, except for that old one I saw right away. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely saw more deer at the close spot where I shot him.
Yeah.
At the end, like after I shot him, I think he was like one of 8 or 9 bucks that I saw there, and I only had like
Different bucks.
8 or 9 different bucks that I saw there. I only had like 3 or 4 sits there because I had 3 or 4 sits at the other spot to start. I sat that back there first. So yeah, there's definitely deer in there, and definitely bucks in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more work. You got to find, obviously, a good spot, some nice trails that are being used, scrapes, find some sign.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking about. You just got to find the sign where they're at, where they're moving. But
It's extra tough for you. I mean, you're 5 hours away. If it's one thing if you're a resident nearby and you can't, whether you can't afford it, don't have access, whatever it may be, you at least are down there more frequently. You can see where the pressure is, where the pressure's not. See who's who, what, where there's good deer in the area. That's a huge advantage. But when you're 5 hours away, like your situation, you're pretty handcuffed there. I mean,
service is a little iffy for tact cams.
My opinion, what we did, and we didn't really do that this year because of the weather down there, but the shed hunting, a couple of trips that we go on, would probably utilize that, for your scouting. You're not going to be able to tell where pressure is, but you're going to at least be able to learn the land a little bit.
Yep.
And we haven't shed hunted that spot since one of the first years we went there.
One of the first years.
Yeah.
And one year we went there with my Iowa roommates. We had really good luck. I mean, we found 15 sheds just at that unit that day between 4 guys. It was one day, and something like that. That's better than we've ever done down there.
When was that? When you found all those?
That was 2018, I want to say.
March, February.
That was even March too. And the craziest part about it was we found a couple of old ones that were good horns that were kind of chewed up a little bit. So it makes you, it's like this spot probably wasn't getting hammered last year either, unless he shed extremely late. But last couple of years shed hunting down there has been
the shedding definitely helps. Like I said, we haven't shed on that spot for years.
Mm-hmm.
But even being close to where I hunted, helped know the area a little bit.
Yeah, it's huge.
Whether it's one time or not. I mean, you walk through there and
Boots
you
on the ground.
I mean, it's like that Mount Air spot.
Yeah.
You walk and you see how many rubs and the size of the rubs. You're like, all right, you could probably come back to your hunting.
Did you ever cross your mind to go there? I know we
That's
had
a
we had a
different
connection. Is it a fully different zone?
Dang.
Yep.
That's
The other side, the west
4
side
then.
of 35 is a different zone.
That's 6 then. Zone 6.
Some of the the one spot I really wanted to go to when I first found out I got a tag this year was north of Des Moines, where me and Mitch and
Fort
Damon
Dodge.
met up.
Fort Dodge, yeah.
But then I was because sometimes the small spots that we shed hunted where we didn't spend a lot of time, I get mixed up. Where was this one? Because I don't know the zones.
Yeah.
And then I looked at my Onyx, I was like, geez, that one's way north.
Yeah, that
If
one.
you want to go there, you can get a tag easier there, though.
Probably,
True,
yeah.
probably.
For sure.
That was our
Couple
best
years
shed
next
year,
time.
too.
Yeah.
Fort
But
Dodge.
yeah, I remember that spot. That looked really
Yeah.
good.
That one, yeah.
That was
That
a
one
billy
sticks
goat
out the most
country,
to me.
too.
Oh, man.
Except, hunting that would suck almost worse than this long walk because
You need a
freaking walk
getting
through
a
the
boat
Grand
would be-
Canyon.
Oh, man.
I think
there.
I'd probably ignore your calls if you said you shot one and you needed help
Yeah.
dragging one.
that.
You got a
Ask
buddy
the
with
neighbor.
you got a buddy with a helicopter that can.
Me and Mitch were falling down that hill trying.
We
It's like
literally
straight
were-
up.
Yeah.
That'd be
It was-
something where you take your phone, you're like, huh? Can't hear you.
No, I remember when we were walking that piece, and I was trying to get back to the truck, kind of in a hurry, because I knew it was time to go.
Yeah.
I got myself into a situation where it was damn near I thought it was dangerous. I mean, it was that steep.
You had to hang on
In
to
Iowa.
trees and stuff.
You need to wear
Oh yeah,
cleats
and you
around
look
there.
down and it was a rock would slip from your feet, and you watch it go. You're like, wow.
That was like every spot up there, too, that we went to. It had
it was
a big old
nuts.
ravine
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. It was,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that stuff in Colorado or something where you're going elk hunting, but I'm like, holy cow! And we're used to hunting
Yeah.
the bluffs.
yeah.
That was
Dang.
some sketchy
Found
stuff.
a good shed in there though, and that
Yeah.
one spot is definitely a good spot.
Very, very much so.
But-
I would definitely sit there all day.
Yeah.
Nice spot. That gets
Maybe
me
next
excited
year.
for shed hunting.
Oh, God,
I know. I love that almost as much as I do killing it.
Shit.
Yep.
Yep, that's for sure. Should we talk about the next Eid brother down in Iowa now?
Oh man.
Yeah. It was,
Just got back from your trip?
yeah, it wasn't bad. I went down there Thursday and then just got back today. I saw a pile of deer. I mean, every day. I probably saw 20, 30 deer every day. Sitting out of 2 stands. There's big bean fields. I mean, it's a 300-acre piece, but it seems like it hunts about 600. I mean, it's just giant. There's deer everywhere.
Yeah.
Saw a decent amount of chasing, nothing too crazy. Obviously, some like 2-year-olds and yearlings really dogging the hell out of some does.
Yeah.
And then Friday night, I had one shooter that I've had on cam. He came in like right at 5:30 at 30 yards, but it was just way too dark with that
Yeah.
chest high grass down there. I mean, there's no way I would have been able to shoot him. But other than that, probably, I mean, I don't know how many different bucks I saw, a ton, but nothing too crazy big. But
Yeah.
that's we'll head back down. I'll take an extended weekend. There's probably like 2 to 3 acres of standing beans in 2 separate spots, so kind of hone in on those late season and
Yeah.
That should be money.
That's exciting.
yeah, hope something from one of the neighbors. I mean, there's plenty of bedding on the south side, so
Yeah.
and I mean, like up here when we leave food, I mean, any of our spots, I mean,
Big
you
time.
can see the deer just flock to.
Yeah.
Can you get down
Standing.
there at all like later November? I mean, not late season, but later November, because for one, they're still interested in does a little bit. For two, they're moving on to the food sources, and that's where the bigger ones will find.
Well, it's
does.
weird because the
And that's
archery,
when I'd want to be down there as much as possible.
the archery ends December 1st, so it's odd. So like we have opening gun this weekend, and then it's Thanksgiving next weekend, and then December 1st is a Friday. So
Friday.
it's like, I mean, you're gonna be gun hunting up here, and then you got Thanksgiving weekend. So it's like, okay, I mean, I just used 5 days of PTO down there, and it's like I have 5, but you like to keep some in the back pocket. I mean,
Just
Oh, yeah,
in case.
you gotta-
especially
Your life hits you.
yeah. So
How long is the archery? Because you can't archery hunt during gun season down there.
I looked that up because I thought about coming back here to hunt Ray because we had more pictures of him. But you can't bow hunt during Iowa's shotgun or muzzleloader compared to Wisconsin, where like we can go archery hunt. I mean, from the opening weekend till
Yep.
it
So when are
closes in
those?
January.
When are those seasons done? Then in December,
It goes just December 1st to 18th, so it's just 2
Basically.
weeks of those. But
so you have to hunt.
Then you're looking
Either
at, then you're
now
looking
or
at Chris-
after
then you're looking
December
at
18th.
Christmas, and that's
yeah, so it's either now before December 1st or like December 18th, which would be right before Christmas. But
Mhm.
it's not like I'd be taking another week. I mean, I'd just do.
What about the second weekend of our gun season, like the 24th, 25th, 26th? That would be. I feel like that'd be an awesome time to get down there.
Yeah, but that's like
November.
what I'm saying. That's Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, kind of a bunch of family stuff and whatnot. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
We'll see. I mean, the cameras are still down there, so we'll see what kind of does it. I probably should have moved them over to the soybeans, but I actually just found out from Kyle that I thought the guy just took the beans off, and because he told me 2 spots, but then when I went there, I only saw the one, so I was like, oh, he must have just did the one standing. He's like, oh no, it's way over to the west where you can't see it. So I guess I didn't know that, but we'll see if I get down there, or maybe Damon or Jimmy will be nice enough to run down there and put the cameras over the beans. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see when we can get down there, but I'm in no crazy rush right now. I mean,
Play it
kind of
better.
yeah,
Get a 180 back home.
kind of
Still
helps,
limping
but
around.
yeah, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
TBD.
It's kind of tough, especially after you just use your week, and now it's like, okay, do you want to use another one and drain your PTO bank? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
All it takes is one good one on camera, though, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
Just fire
the
it up
battery
again.
just gets recharged in a heartbeat.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I need that this time of year after sitting for this long.
Yeah.
absolutely.
but yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, got a lot of intel. I mean, saw just a dumb amount of deer. I mean, out in the beans, and that's kind of what I did find interesting right now is like I saw the chasing, but there was a lot of deer just browsing the bean fields. I mean, just casually, nothing. I mean, you saw some younger bucks come push some does, but even some other bucks just by themselves, just going out into the bean fields feeding. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it kind of just gave me that feeling like post rut, everything kind of hitting the food sources already. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet I wouldn't doubt a lot of the more mature bucks or maybe locked down in a fence line. I mean,
oh, I bet they were because I mean
That's a
the
tough
one
time
the shooter
right
I
there.
saw, I mean he's mature. I mean just a tank of a body, but I mean he's probably what 140. I mean that's the biggest one that I saw. Which I mean, like we said with the cameras, I mean who knows what's down there, and it's just such
Yeah.
a big piece. It's It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Another one
Yeah.
that we get to shed hunt.
Yep.
Oh, that could be cool.
First private one, yeah.
Yeah.
Better get in there.
Well, I forgot to ask. I'll ask both of you guys. How did they respond to calling when you guys were down there? Did you guys call a lot?
I did some rattles, and like I said, I rattled that old one in
Yeah.
immediately, and I rattled another 8-pointer in. So it seemed like they responded like better than up here.
Yeah.
In my experience from calling up here.
Mm-hmm.
And mine was opposite. I mean, I already said like the last time I don't like rattling just because it.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel weird. Like I'd rather just take out the grunt tube and
Oh,
throw a
yeah.
few, which I had some respond to the grunts, but the rattling I had nothing.
What about a doe bleat? Did you ever guys use one of those?
Never messed with that.
I tried it on that nice one that run through, but
Mhm.
yeah, he wasn't stopping for anything.
He was
Yeah.
hot on a doe's ass. So
yeah,
that's
he
hard
had
to,
some. Well, I was trying everything I had in the bag, just
Yeah.
throwing everything at him.
Turning it over, rattling on it.
Brr, brr, brr.
playing a
That's
tune.
funny. Iowa.
Yep.
Just like
But-
that.
But now we come back and we got the Orange Army coming to town in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
keep
exciting
your
time
head
of
on the
year up
swivel.
here.
Look forward to
Or
it every
an
year.
Or an unexciting time, depends on who you are. But
Yeah.
if you're one of those guys that's saying a big bow hunter and saying, "Dang it, I don't want any of these 3.5-year-old shot that I've been passing up for all season long," well, then maybe it isn't an exciting time. But
That's kind of
if
where
you're
we're
in,
at
if
right
you're
now.
the majority of the public, it's a good time. If anything, you're at least the camaraderie with the deer camp coming
Yeah,
up and
that's the
stuff.
best
It's
part.
something I'm definitely looking forward to.
Yep.
It's like nerve wracking for us this year because we have like
Yeah.
3, maybe even 4 like freaking stud young deer on camera this year.
It's the
up
most
here.
we've had like consistently. It's like, oh man, there's 2 that you're just like,
There's
please.
2 that
make
are
it.
like super studs, like 3
Because the one right now, I bet if you saw him, the one we call Wemby, if you saw him, you'd be like, oof.
Wemby.
Like,
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
I know
he's
what
got a
you mean.
6-point side and then a 5-point side, and he's just
So you got
wide.
like 18-inch tall tines too, like Wemby is. Or?
No, but he could. He's got the potential where,
Potentially.
I mean, his beams are just long, big 6-point side.
He's
and-
really wide. Yeah.
So if anyone saw him, I mean, you see all those tines. I mean, he's gonna get
getting shot for
blasted
sure,
immediately. But it's like, if he can make it a year,
Oh, yeah.
man. I mean, just
And
to fill
then-
out those beams, it's
it's exciting.
and the other one I think might have some Ray Finkel genetics because he's
for sure.
Short time, but a lot of times.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got one of those like middle ones in between his tine where that's
Oh.
where I was like, that just looks identical to a
Yeah.
young
What'd you
Little
name
Ray.
him? What'd you name him?
Little Ray.
Einhorn. If you don't know the reference, we'll see if the
Einhorn.
viewers do. So we got
Einhorn?
Ray Finkel. No, Einhorn.
Jeez,
Einhorn.
dude.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Einhorn.
Einhorn is Finkel.
Pretty sure everybody else heard.
We'll see if the viewers know that. So we got
Nine.
Ray Finkel, and then the new one is Einhorn.
Comment if you know what
Yeah.
they're talking about.
Apparently, you guys don't.
Get a plus.
I don't have a clue.
Nope. I
Man.
don't. I didn't hunt the deer, or I don't have a deer named Ray Finkel, so I haven't studied it.
I don't know who Ray Finkel is.
That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah. But yeah, then the other one we have, he was hit bow season, so he's got like I think we touched on it last time.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got that arrow sticking out of his back right now, but
Mm-hmm.
he's just one of those 8-pointers where it's like, please make it, because just a big old 8-pointer. I mean, I don't know who doesn't like a big 8,
Mega 8.
but yeah, I mean, I usually just open in weekend, and then don't really dabble with it too much after that. I just don't really get into gun hunting too much. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a tradition that has seemed like it's kind of died a little bit over the last how many years, but
What do you think we got to do to like
Depends
kind
on
of
your group.
bring it back? Besides the DNR changing rules. and
yeah,
everything?
I don't know.
I don't think it's ever coming back the way it was.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Gotta start
Ever
The
comes
registering
deer
back.
management has just gotten
I think that's
Yeah.
that's exactly right. I mean, the management portion of it is what kills it for a majority of the hunters in the groups, because whoever has the main control on the land, or the group of people that do, you've usually got a set standard of management, set goals on what you want to accomplish. And as fun as it is to have other people in camp and family members and everything like that, which is great, we all want them in camp, or whoever, you want people around. But the last thing somebody wants, also, the majority of the hunters, this is majority, not everybody, but you don't basically where I'm going is you can't have just everybody come in and not wreck, but shoot what you're working on. All year long you work on you work on food plots, you work on timber management, bedding areas. You try to hold deer in there go and drive it in a group drive to shoot, have somebody shoot it that doesn't put in that same work and that doesn't have the same management goals.
The management kills the fun, and the fun kills the management.
You nailed it. Yeah, trail cameras have a lot to do with it too, because before those, I mean, even guys that hunt a lot, there's big bucks that you don't see, that you don't even know are there, and sometimes you're better off not knowing are there. I feel like sometimes I know I've seen it firsthand. Somebody with certain property was, hey, yeah, come on and hunt anytime you want, and everything's good, and we're all having a good time, and then you get one great big buck on camera, and everything changes. It's, oh, wait a minute, he's here.
Start with a D.
We can't. We're not. Nobody else is in. And no names. It's multiple groups. I mean, that's what cameras do. That's why a lot of people.
That's a good spot. I'm gonna go hunt there.
And it's not even just with that. I mean, you look at no back tags and no running down to the gas station to register, and you see the big buck board and whatnot, and having guys, stopping at some guy's tailgate. I mean,
you know what I miss?
It's like you don't see guys downtown with the tailgate open with the big buck out back anymore. They just either sit at their houses. I mean, it's just the little things like that. I mean,
I miss going to Joe's Shop Quick and looking at their playback little thing of all that came through.
They still have that, I think.
They do. I just was there and looked at it. There's like $6 on there from the entire year. Sad. I sat there. I'm like, that's a repeat already? Okay, I'm gone.
That's sad.
And it's just kind of a trickle down from the no back tags. I mean, you don't have to go into the gas station to buy your tag anymore. I mean, just online, and you don't have to go in to register it or anything like that. So I mean, you just don't see that.
Yeah, I think trail cameras are kind of one of the root causes of the issue, though. It's land prices, lease prices. Everything included. Everybody's gonna. I mean, there's not a whole lot of, hey guys, come and hunt, enjoy the farm anymore. I mean, there's certain pockets, certain spots. I know, your dad provides that for a lot of people, which is awesome. But it's really pockety, and rightfully so. If I owned a great big farm and put a ton of work, ton of money and time into letting deer go and trying to harvest, giant bucks like this one in the back. It's hard to have as much as you want to hunt with your buddies and people that you enjoy being around. That's all you put so much time and effort into it to have it like that it's tough. It's just a slippery slope, I guess.
You think it would feel a little bit more different if it was shotgun only compared to rifles?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Just
the distance and everything.
Not really.
A little more would get.
I don't think it would be any different.
I don't think it changes that much for me.
No, because you're
same
still
rules
can
apply.
shoot 152.
I mean, they do, but you're only shooting.
Where do you guys stand on it? I mean, if say you guys are putting in money, you either got your own farm, your own lease, and you've had a group of people coming out for a long time, and then pretty soon they're not showing up anymore. You guys are putting in 10 times the work as everybody else, 10 times the money. Pretty soon you got to draw a line. Where does tradition and good fun end, and where does your personal hunting goals?
If you just bought a chunk of land, like yourself and for you and your immediate family, I think it's gonna be real tough to invite a bunch of people out and come, especially during gun season, shoot all the deer, have a bunch of drives and stuff. Like it's land now is so expensive,
big time.
So I think that would ruin a lot. But
yeah, and I think trail cameras, not to keep beating my head against that, but I think that they have changed a lot because you start to realize how few of really good bucks there are out there. When you haven't been hunting much, you always just say, oh, there's still probably plenty of great big ones out there. I just haven't had the time to get out there, or I'm not having any luck. But when you've got trail cameras sitting there doing all this scouting work on your farm, whether it be cell camera or regular camera, doesn't matter. You have 6-8 cameras on 100-acre piece of property, and you start to realize, geez, I've had these cameras out all year, and I have one shooter buck and maybe one borderline buck on there all year long.
Yep.
Then you start to kind of, you start to tighten up a little bit, and you're saying, hey, shit, I got, all this time and money I'm putting in, and basically I'm hunting, arguably one good deer in the area. And if he gets shot by somebody that's not, my best buddy, best family member, who's not putting in the same work, then it starts to just kind of doesn't sit with you well, or not saying you are unhappy if anybody gets it, because that's not where I'm trying to go with this. But anybody who's anybody who it's fair chase, how that goes. But I feel like if you've put in a lot of work into a property, or you've bought a property, I haven't, but put in work into a property and trying to manage, you get it a little bit better than maybe just the average. Yeah. But it's an interesting topic. You could go on a long.
Yep. Well, you were just talking about trail cameras. That kind of just led me to think I got 2 soakers that have been out all year that I've been dying to go check. Might have to do that before gun season.
I like doing that. I don't think we did that this year, really, did we?
Yeah, I did. I put that one out with Walker up in the Chicago plot.
I just got that one this weekend.
Well, yeah, but that's 2 months.
Super soaker dried.
We did, but we did those 2 deep in the woods last year, and we left them like all year long. I thought that was awesome to go back and look late.
It's my favorite.
It's fun.
It's like Christmas.
A little surprise. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was 2 years ago. I had a buck come up and rub on the same tree that I had the camera on, and it just wrecked the rest of the pictures the whole year. And that was
that's why you got to get a couple out there, because that shit happens, or you have a malfunction of some kind.
Yep.
Remember we got that video a couple years ago, a buck I don't even think he was rubbing on it. He just ripped it down with his horns. The camera's on video mode.
Dang.
He hit it a couple times. It goes up in the air. It goes down, and then it totally ripped it off the tree.
Yeah.
It was a cool video.
Yeah, on video mode. That's
Dang.
pretty sweet.
One of the super soakers is out on an old logging trail. There's an overhanging branch, and I kind of put another branch kind of hanging down to get them to scrape on that spot. I had one there last year too, and it was phenomenal for pictures. So I'm really looking forward to checking that out.
That'll be cool.
Big surprise. Yeah.
I pretty much set them out this year because I had 2 3 or 3.5-year-olds on camera that I was really wanting to see what their patterns were. I know it changes a year or two, but it's gonna be awesome to see where they.
That's what we did for the one that we did last year. We put it deep in our bigger woods on a trail that kind of comes from a pinch point from the neighbors, kind of, just to see if they're hitting that trail or coming onto ours.
Yep.
During the daylight, or just trying to figure out their movement more. And it definitely was a used trail, so it was kind of interesting to see, like you said, through the whole season.
It's fun
how we kind of used it for.
You might as well use the cameras you got.
For sure.
Lately, cell cameras are starting to take over. Everybody's got them, and then
Yeah.
pretty soon you look in your the bottom drawer. You're like, shit.
I still got a couple.
I still got
regular ones.
cameras that you used 4 years ago, and they're still working great.
Yeah.
Get them out there.
Yeah, he said
they're
I
usually
wanted.
better
I
on the
went to,
batteries anyhow.
Oh, big time.
and I went to check it. I don't know how many weeks ago that was, and it was tore down from a little buck. He had that on video mode too, and it was the same thing. It was completely at the base of the tree. But yeah, I mean,
I forgot.
it's
this year too.
yeah. I mean, it's like you say, it's a little surprise on those soakers, and like we were talking right before
Mm-hmm.
we came on air here. I mean, those bonus bucks are showing up for a nice little surprise. A little late, but
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's usually
Never
around this
never
time.
too late. Though.
it's normally around this time,
It's
but I feel like
usually-
they show up right now and they stay around for a little
It's
while.
like you don't get that bonus buck come like mid-October. It's like you got the bucks, and it's to me it just always seems like around gun season. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, who the heck are you?
Looking for that last doe.
Yeah.
I mean, not last. I mean,
Which it's
on
like
to
you
the
were
next,
saying,
but-
kind of freeing up a little bit and
Yeah.
maybe getting a little desperate.
I had a
Oh.
daylight
Yeah.
picture at 11 o'clock this morning,
Mm-hmm.
just roaming around.
Jeez.
The buck that I've tried him to kill all year long.
So that's what I was hoping for in Iowa, but
God.
yeah, it was kind of dead that mid-afternoon. But yeah, I mean, you kind of getting to that point where some bucks might get a little desperate looking the.
Yeah.
You're being too loud with your little Debbie wrappers, probably. Midday.
No, I was a little smart. I put them in a container.
Veteran mode.
This might be going to the
Dedicate.
next level, but have you guys ever thought about putting your trail cameras in? out in like March or like April, like on trails, just to see what trails like
Nope.
the best for getting pictures?
Never thought of that.
We've done it. My grandpa, he was always huge into just getting pictures, especially when we first started using cameras before
Yeah.
cell cameras, anything.
Yeah,
Loved
just
it.
to,
I mean,
just to test them
checking
out, or-
checking the cameras was that's a damn near a
Oh, yeah.
mini holiday in our little,
Yeah.
little hunting camp.
Yeah,
Our camera checking day. But so he liked them so much. A lot of times he just kept on filling the batteries all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And his particular property, we didn't learn a ton about the deer movement because they don't winter there hardly at all. But
yeah.
we got coyote pictures. In the springs, we got some cool duck pictures, turkey. I mean, it's just fun to see. Even if your deer herd isn't wintering there, you can
So you
still get
said
some cool intel.
You do that just to see like the trails they use?
I have before. If there's a couple coming out to like a field or something, I'll
Yeah.
put them on one on like both trail kind of to see which one gets more pictures.
I like it during
So, like-
shed season a lot.
Yeah,
Because then for one,
Oh, yeah,
you've always got your target
Oh,
sheds to find.
yeah. But
But when you're kind of checking it here and there, if you have access, for one when they shed, where they where they were when you shed, and
that's another reason why I'm pulling those
huge.
super soakers to put them on
Yeah.
beans that I got around too.
It's
Yeah, we
huge.
usually use them out until I think that year we had Billy there. I mean, he left it out till damn near March. I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
We got
But-
pictures
I'm gonna
of
keep the
one he
batteries
shed.
going.
yeah.
And if
Well,
you didn't, you got lucky and found it anyhow. But I mean, a lot of times, if you didn't know Billy was wintering there like he was, you probably wouldn't have, put all the time in shed hunting that you did.
oh yeah,
That's
But-
another thing though too. Our subscription of like our trail cameras we kind of cancel that around mid December.
Yeah.
But I go and pull the chips and go through those and kind of get a beat on where they're at.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like another thing, not to get too early on shed hunting. It's November 15th, or is it 14th? I don't know.
14th today.
14th. But yeah, I love just getting cameras out on trails, going to the beans, and I like scouting like in January before I.
Yeah, you almost
actually
have to
go
just
out,
move
yeah.
them to
Going
the
scouting
food
for
sources.
shed hunting.
Yep.
Hey.
It
like,
works. It works.
When you say you
Where
put
are we
them
gonna
out in March, is
spend your
like
time, put your miles on. You
I
only got so
can't.
much time to do things. You
Yeah.
might as well be doing it in the right spot.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
you can get turkeys too if you get lucky. I know you
Nah.
don't like turkeys.
nah. I don't need to look at those
all
pictures.
it takes is one gobble for me to get into turkey hunting. I'm
Yeah,
hooked.
I don't
It's
need to
fun.
look at turkey pictures.
If
though.
you were talking about like way back in the day with trail cams,
Yeah.
this made me think of like two different things with like in the old days for always going when we're shed hunting with Luke.
Yep.
Always talks about cam tracker
Oh
pictures.
yeah, we should
The
call
cam
Luke
tracker.
on that.
Cam tracker. We got
Remember that first time heading down to Iowa when
It's still
he's saying it.
still today.
He still
He's-
says it.
I'm sitting in the
I got a
back-
bunch
got
of cam tracker
pictures of that. Thing.
I'm sitting in the back seat. I'm like, what is this guy talking about?
He always says cam
Viewers, I don't know.
tracker.
What do you? Cam tracker, trail cams. What else?
The cam
What other is it?
trackers.
There's a couple other little terms people use, but
I've
The
never,
night eyes,
the night eyes.
I've
yeah,
never heard that.
wildlife eyes. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
it's called.
That's an actual
Those
brand, but
big freaking things that the
I've-
juries used to use.
Cam tracker still to this day for Luke every time we're shed hunting. But then
Giggle
Also
every
trail
thought about-
monitor pictures. Yeah.
I also thought about like when we were little, Dad had a couple cameras that had actual film in them.
You had
Yeah,
to go get them developed.
he
That
still
was, like-
has.
he has like
sleeves and
printed
whatnot
out
of-
pictures
Yeah,
of deer.
Yeah.
They're fun to look back at.
Oh
we
yeah,
got some of those laying around too.
Yeah. What a different world we're in now.
we should all just order one and just put it on
Yeah,
our properties and
The
just
only-
go back and.
So the worst
them
part
all.
was you had to put them on a trail or something because most of them only get like 24 to
24 to a
36
roll.
pictures, and it's
Well,
like what?
and I know my uncle.
How-
He said, he goes, that was.
How are you?
It was nice to go there and get them developed, and then you have a surprise to look at. But it was just the
weed
absolute
going
worst when you get pay all that money to get them developed, and it's just a branch going back
Oh.
and forth.
The ones I remember that Dad had were the film ones where he had on a apple tree and like good clearing in it. He had some. There's actually a couple of nice bucks back in the day. It was cool to look
You
at.
probably spent a little bit more time making sure you had the trail camera in the right spot.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that just goes to show, like, I'm so anal about summertime pics and getting all the weeds like out of the way of the camera.
Yeah.
That's because back in the day we used to run like 2 gigabyte cards, and they'd fill up in like a
Yeah.
week, and all of a sudden you get just a grass just moving
You
back.
should
and
be
forth.
calling
It's
him
like,
to come weed whip everything for you.
You need weeds
I got a little
whipped.
hand
You know who to
weed
call.
whipper. It was
Yep.
pretty nice.
You got like a giant machete knife. And
Yeah. Hit myself in the knee with it one time, too.
yeah. Stick to the weed whacker. I don't trust myself with that big, whatever it is you got. It's worse than a machete.
Well, we were going to talk about the new giant that Dustin just.
Bonus buck time, right?
Laid eyes on them.
Bonus
Oh.
buck time. No, one of the kind of the main lease we've been hunting all year. I've had a camera up in a corner, a little bit separate than the majority of the cell cams we've got. And I was hunting this Saturday, which would be the 11th. It was Veterans Day. And then after my morning hunt, I'm like, I haven't checked this camera in about 8-10 days. I'm close by. The field wasn't muddy, so I could drive my truck up to it. Went and checked it. Obviously, it's a regular camera, so I couldn't just pull it up and look at it. I ended up driving home, see my wife, daughter for a little bit, and I'm like, I got to throw this card in. You never know. Although you've got 15 roughly cell cams on the property, so I'm not expecting anything overly different, and maybe just one of the same bucks using a different area, learning what he's doing type of thing.
Yep.
And I wasn't more than 30, 40 pictures in, and man, my jaw kind of hit my knees. I'm like, holy cow. And I started making phone calls. I think I called everybody in my direct hunting party within 20 minutes.
Damn.
Well, tried to make it as quick as I could, but I think probably had a 20-minute conversation with each person. But I was fired up. And then so he was, to top it off, he was there more than one time. We've all had those one-time night pictures in the rut, and then you find it, a week later, and you sit there and hunt that deer for a week, and he's probably long gone,
4 miles away
out of your area. Yeah, he's been there, done that, and he's left. But he was there a couple of nights, so that gave me a little bit of extra hope. So then I kind of made a game plan for that night. Sat with the decoy within 100 yards from the camera, and he had been coming out just after dark, but that time of year that doesn't mean a whole lot either. Was hoping, and it didn't look like he had a doe, so I was thinking, well, hey, I'm gonna try a buck decoy and see what kind of luck I have. Pretty slow. The next morning though, I called my brother. First off, gave him a little shit. I made sure he wanted to go hunting first. I didn't tell him there was a giant in there.
Jeez.
So I've been giving him some
Sorry,
shit,
Tanner.
giving him some shit because he's been busy lately with ball and in college and stuff. But I've been giving him some shit about anytime he misses a stand trimming day or food plot day or you name it. Like, hey, you want to go hunting tomorrow? Yeah. Like, are you gonna be ready? For sure, because he's been known to sleep in. Yep. No, I'm setting a couple alarms. And like, okay, well, that's good because there is a freaking giant and that just showed up. So we both hunt kind of around the corner from each other, but in the same general area of that camera, hoping to see that buck. Nothing, which, that was my season at the time. I didn't, that's just how it goes. And we needed to make put out a few blinds, move a blind for gun season coming up this weekend. And in the process of doing that, we were driving back on a field road on the lease, and then saw a couple of deer bedded out in the pasture. And all year long, I've seen a couple of them doing this, and every time it's a good buck bedded out with the doe, locked down. I mean, impossible to kill at the time, but seeing them out there, they're feeling pretty ballsy and pretty brave. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, damn, big buck right away. I could see his rack from 400 yards away. I mean, that's
Big
a different kind of deer, and he was complete opposite sides of the farm from where I had the cameras of him, or the pictures of him just less than 48 hours prior. I get the binos up, start putting it together. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's our guy that we were hunting this morning. We were hunting that morning literally a half mile plus away from him, trying to hone in on him over there. And I'm like, Tanner, we were way off this morning, weren't we? But I got 5-10 minutes of footage. Felt like I just kept filming because I couldn't believe it the entire time. I'm like, it's arguably he's probably
with a broken.
He's got one broken G3.
G3.
But I mean, without that broken tine, I still think he's probably the biggest buck I've seen with my eyes in Wisconsin.
He's got huge brows.
So we'll see. I mean, hopefully he sticks around there for gun season. I know we're piling in myself, my brother, grandpa, uncle, my first cousin Gabe.
He's
Yeah. I don't
Probably
care
a
who
little
get,
lucky.
I don't
It
care who
wasn't
gets
this
them.
weekend when he saw him.
No crap.
Yeah,
Just bet it in the open.
or else I'm lucky because I don't think I was making a 400-yard shot.
Chris Kyle.
Well, I mean, you can still.
I would have maybe snuck up on him,
Yeah.
but and who knows? There's people that can shoot 400 yards. I'm not there. I don't have that equipment, but yeah, it's been a long time since I've been this fired up for gun season. Most time,
Big time.
not to sound like a broken record here, but for going into gun season, most of my target, the target deer going into the year are dead.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, let's get whoever made it through. So we've got something exciting for next year. This year, a little bit different. I don't know. Hope maybe he's 2 miles away, but like I said, this time of year, crazy things happen. Some bigger deer show up, and usually you lose them. And for once, we gained one, and hopefully he sticks around. I don't care who gets him.
Hopefully
If it's
sticks
somebody,
around a couple days.
if it's somebody in
Yeah.
our group, I'm extremely happy, and we've all got a fair chance at seeing him. I mean,
Well, tell him about after you saw him.
going into that
day.
night too, yeah.
That
So
night too, yeah.
I seen him, and he was pretty much. It looked to me like he was 100% locked down. The doe was bedded out in the pasture with him. So she was out there, and anytime I've seen that in recent, not just recently, but all through the years, it's a 100% lockdown situation.
He doesn't go.
He's
far,
not going to be moving much. And there was a 3-year-old and a yearling there in the bunch too. Kind of, he was the man of the group, but they were waiting for their chance. And so slowly they just kind of worked into the neighbor's woods actually. So I'm like, well, okay. I went on. We did our business. We went and hung that blind. Set up the blind. Is generally, I mean, we were a couple 100 yards away. They're fairly used to farm equipment. I figured it'd be the same. What's the difference to them?
Yeah.
Did that, and then I'm like, I got to get back to the cabin. I got to show Mitch this video, this monster, and try to get a better look at him. Pull him up on your laptop.
Yep.
And we're looking at him, and yeah, he's as big as he looked on trail cam, if not bigger. And then it's like, okay, how are we going to hunt him tonight? The southwest wind, there wasn't a great option close by there, and where he was out in the pasture, where I swear they do that on purpose. They're safe out there. I mean, it looks like they're being dumb. They're out in the open, but he can see everybody coming from a long ways, and the way he can't see, he's got the wind in his favor. I feel like it's always right where they do it for a reason. But
Yep.
they were out there, so sat there, kicked around ideas. Maybe I thought about sitting the blind we hung for gun season. Really, that's probably 300-400 yards from there, but it's down next to some water that I thought that doe might pull him to. But ultimately you kind of ended up talking me into it, and I was glad you did, because as soon as you did, I'm like, absolutely, you're right. Why wouldn't we go in and get aggressive and try to kill this thing, because they ain't moving much when they're locked down. So what I did, circled around the hill, snuck up. I thought about getting into the line fence more and hanging right on the line, but from a distance with my binos, I didn't see any trees that really looked doable there. So I ended up hanging my stand in a patch of woods, still within 150 yards from where they walked in. And I thought they were coming my way really if they came out, and threw up a decoy. And the entire night was on the edge of my seat. You've probably been there a few times.
Yeah, we talked about that
giant,
before.
it's
That's
like
awesome.
it was bow in hand the entire night, and then, like I said, the deer has not been on a cell cam all year long. And about 4:30, 5 o'clock,
Yeah,
we're talking about a half hour, 45 minutes before dark. Just as I'm sitting there, just waiting for him, I'm like, wait a minute, shows up. The deer ended up crossing a huge valley and was 500 yards away from me. So between when we saw him at 11 o'clock in the morning to getting out there at 2:30, he had up and left. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she wasn't fully in heat. Maybe he bred her and was done. I truly don't know. But at that point, I'm just like, and there was a couple other good deer in the area, but after seeing him, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Immediately hung the bow back
There
up.
was a text.
I hung the bow. I'm like, Tanner, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's get going.
I started a group text with him and Tanner.
Oh,
He's
man.
like, Tanner, are you ready? I've been ready for the last hour, dude. Where are you?
5
But
minutes
that's-
ago,
But it
he
was
was
fun. and
squeezing the
I'm
life
happy,
out
I'm
of his
happy
bow.
I'm happy we kind of threw in the,
Yeah,
threw in all the chips. It was,
you gotta.
it was the last day I could bow hunt, so why not?
Doing any
And,
rattling or anything when you had the decoy out there?
I didn't. I just had the decoy out there, and I don't know. Those of you guys, you hunted with a decoy a little bit. I don't know if you have recently or not, but hunting with a decoy is fun. I never got to see quite what you did with the little yearling reacting, but every time you turn around your shoulder, you're looking around down. There was a big field down below me. I was kind of checking out a few deer down there, and especially when it's getting to that good time, you kind of peek back at your decoy. You ever had it where you're like,
think it's a deer?
like it just kind of it keeps you on your edge. You're like, yeah, obviously
shit.
that's a decoy. I knew that, but
Dude,
just
I
seeing
bought
that
one,
deer, that realistic deer standing 18 yards, it just I'm
Dude,
not
that's
used
literally
to it.
what
I'm not
mine
used
was
to it
at
yet.
the other night too. 18 yards.
I'm not used to it. It's
I
just
bought
like,
a decoy
whoa.
2 years ago, and I've never used it still.
didn't
That
know
was
you
the
had
first
one.
time I've used one in 5-6 years probably.
I really want to
Certain
try it.
people have
I
awesome
still
luck.
haven't used it yet.
I made a
Your farm
lot
is
of
fairly
noise.
open.
that
You should use it. I mean, it's
we got one good stand that it could be really good for too.
just
but I
in that stand. I would go lay it in the grass, high grass, right next to it, so it's got no scent on it. When you want to go hunt it, go hunt it. My biggest issue was it was windy,
moving that thing.
and the decoy had it's
Couldn't
been
stake it down.
used before, and I had staked it down the best I could, but I like to have it quartering to me, so when a buck comes, it's going to circle a buck decoy from the front, leaving you a chip shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I had to have it like asked to me, to be honest with you, just with the way the wind was blowing, I couldn't keep that thing standing up. And the night before that, I tried. It was damn near getting to prime time, and thank goodness there was no deer in the field yet at that point. But the damn thing tipped over.
That was, the text you sent was funny.
I'm
I
like,
said to run back out there.
I did. I'm like, Jesus, he tipped over, and I'm trying to, because any minute I feel like there's going to be a deer
like
coming
Jack
out. It's
Sparrow
getting-
running.
Oh yeah, it was. I wish I could have seen a video of myself, but
Yeah.
exciting times. Yeah, he's a hell of a buck. I don't know where he came from. I'm sure there's somebody out there thinking
Thanks
or
to
wishing,
anyone that was
saying,
growing 'em
"Hey,
that year.
where the heck is this guy at?" Or I'm sure they got their own name for him and everything else. But
Yeah,
For
now
once-
the anticipation of gun season where it's like, oh boy,
See a
the pins
picture of
and
him
needles
soon.
on. Yeah,
I don't. But exciting as I've been in a long time, and just having an opportunity to maybe see one like that makes my hunt, because you know what? Back to the old Chero cameras, we all use them, and then you go into the season, and it's like, hey, I got so and so, so and so, and so and so, and so and so is dead, and he's gone or whatever, and you're kind of out there. Hey, I'm gonna fill the freezer a little bit or manage some does, but for this year's a little different for us. Knock on wood, there's bow hunting still open. I shouldn't say anything too soon, but we're excited. Everybody is. I think our whole hunting party is going to be hunting in that little.
got
That
the
a
whole
little
clan
area.
in every tree on every corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it, kind of a group call, and you're like, why wouldn't we do that? I'm like, yeah, you're 100% right. Why wouldn't we do? I mean, there's no way I'm not going to sit there. If you ain't talking me into going anywhere else. I know
Yeah.
that.
They're like 50 yards away from each other in trees, just making hand
You seen
signals.
anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, doing baseball signals.
Yep. Oh man,
What's
But,
your guys'
it'll be fun.
strategies for opening day then?
I don't know. It's usually, hey, where are you sitting? Oh, do you know where you're sitting yet? No, I don't. What
It's
about
like
you? You know where
Somebody
you're
decide.
Who's going to be the guy to
Yeah.
be like, okay, I'm going to the best spot?
Yeah, exactly.
This is where I'm going. You guys playing other
It's usually one of those things everybody knows, but you're kind of tiptoeing around. So
trying
where
do
do you
I
want
say it first?
Where do you
or-
want to go?
Yeah.
You
I
know
don't
what?
know. I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. I just
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll just go over here.
Once I have the gun in my hand, it's time to shoot some does.
Oh boy.
I was
That's
thinking
what I
about
This year you got a few hit listers left, though. You got
Yeah.
any bad blood and just saying, hey, I want to. Obviously, you want to kill one of those 5.5-year-olds, but
Yeah.
little extra, being you bow hunted hard all year and didn't have a chance at them. I mean, maybe your luck's running out.
I mean,
You
I
can only
probably
kill.
used
You
up
can
all my
only
luck
kill a
last year,
190
yeah.
every so often, I guess.
True. Well, I've been trying to kill 5.5-year-old 130s all year, and they've been
that's what I'm
giving me the
saying.
slip all year. Yeah.
Yeah. 5.5-year-olds are tough.
Yeah. But yeah, opening morning, I'm going to be sitting in my normal spot up on a ridge. Got a water hole and clover plot, shut a rack fuel right next to me. And they move pretty much all day around there. It's awesome spot.
It's a fun spot.
And the neighbor just got their corn off too, so should be a good sit. But I don't know. the weather looks a little bit better than it is right now. Today it was like 65, and
I think
Weather
tomorrow's
looks
gonna
good.
be
The
like
recent
that too.
forecast.
But
yeah.
I think
Speaking of
there's
the
a
weather,
big drop from
I know-
Thursday to Friday, and then
Yep.
I was just telling him I think the low Friday night into Saturday is like 34 maybe.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I
not
just-
terrible.
I just
Yeah.
looked recently, and it was even getting a little bit colder yet. Today, I checked it today, and then yesterday. Today looked better for the weekend, but
Not quite as cold as
Being,
last year, but
no, last year was tough, windy, snowy. I know I've
That
gotten
was
some shit
rough.
on the whole box blind stuff. So you're on a ridge, you got a pond, you got a food plot.
here we go.
Do you have a box blind too, or how good a spot is this?
I do have a box
A
blind. up
heated
there.
box blind on a
Routed up.
ridge on a
Oh,
pond.
jeez.
Yeah. I only use it for gun hunting. That's it.
That's a money spot.
Good job.
I might bring a heater in there too. We'll see.
Might bring one in there. Don't you got one and all set up? Maybe you need some extra. Most of,
Okay, we don't need a heater when it's 60 degrees out.
it's gonna be colder than that. But
Yeah, but you sent that Snapchat. It was like 55 degrees, and you
I
had
had to
the
test
heater
it out.
running.
that's not
Oh,
sure
yeah.
it worked.
Didn't have his.
That's I'm a
boots
little
on.
nervous going into this weekend. The gun stand I hunt on, it's a lot of far shooting, so I haven't sat there bow hunting yet. I'm a little nervous at the we have a great big, like a 20-gallon LP tank. I'm a little worried. Did a guy leave it on last year? The worst
a
case
guy.
scenario, you
A
get there.
guy.
You get there and it's empty or something. So I'm thinking I'm gonna bring a couple of them little green ones just in case.
It's like right behind you, right over there.
I think you'll be all right if it's 50 degrees in there.
It's not. It's maybe.
I
for
think
the
you'll be
afternoon.
okay.
yeah.
It won't be 10 with wind chills in the negative like last year and snowing and windy. And
True.
Well, I was looking at
it changes how you dress. When I know I'm going into the hut, I'm not kidding you. I'm wearing. You're wearing your
what you are
sweatshirt
right now. Yeah.
chilling.
I was looking at the forecast and I was looking at DeerCast too, and Friday looks really good.
sneak out one more time.
I don't know. I might be a couple beers deep by the time the night rolls around.
Yeah, because I think it is a big drop from Thursday to Friday, like 65 to 40 or
Yep.
something like that.
A really big 3.5-year-old got killed last year, the night before gun hunting, which is the odds of that happening are slim to none, but it happened. And he's not with us today. R.I.P.
Thinking about gun season, I don't think I've shot a buck with a gun since the very first deer I ever killed. So I
Wow.
think I should try to fix that soon.
Mine
I'm,
was 2017.
I'm 2010 was my last gun buck that I've killed, and it was
Oh,
arguably
09.
one of the biggest bucks I've got. But
Same. 09, biggest one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Same.
man.
What year mine would
Boys
have
on
been.
a dry street.
Oh.
yeah.
Yikes.
don't listen to our gun hunting advice.
Yours?
Yeah, no crap.
Oh, God.
When I was, what year was it? When I was 12. Can't do that math.
do the math. Yeah.
Check out real quick.
The the buck that's
Where's
kind
he
of been
going?
probably gotta go potty. The one of the bucks I've been after all year, I nicknamed him Hasbula because he's just a short tine.
Great name.
Yeah, and he's old, but he's not gonna get any bigger.
It's like
And,
our Spud Webb.
Yeah, and he's been around all year, but he's like kind of came and went, and he's been missing for the last couple weeks. But he just showed back up at the spot that I'm gonna go opening morning. So if he comes by, he's getting got right away.
I think mine would have been 09 or 10 too. Like the first year or two that I hunted. The first deer I ever shot that's the only buck I've ever shot with a gun. That's sad.
Dang.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if I've shot very many either.
I actually really
I've shot more
want-
during the youth hunt, I think, than
Really?
yeah.
Remember that match set I found last year? That the one I sent the video to of the food plot.
Yep.
That buck I like really want to shoot. That's
He hasn't been around for
Spud
a
Webb.
while.
It's just a shitty buck.
Spud Webb.
Webb.
Terrible
I-
buck, but you give me an excuse to shoot one.
I
You'd be
love
good on
gun
the
season
shoot.
for that though too. It's like, do you waste a bow tag on a buck that you're gonna be chasing, or on like deer that you're gonna be hunting like all year, or over 9 days?
There's no
Yep.
chance I'm gonna waste my bow tag on a buck like that, but I will waste a gun tag on
Yeah.
like a management buck or
Yeah.
whatever.
Management.
If there
though.
is such a thing.
Yeah. Which I just saw a new study came out that there kind of isn't, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you read that article I sent?
yep.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it makes
I'm
you
not.
think.
It makes you think a little bit. But
Well, it doesn't help that it's 50-50 like doe genetics and buck genetics.
But like
too.
that buck
Yeah.
I'm talking about, his rack on the cam pictures, cam
Oh,
tracker pictures.
I thought you were gonna say cam tracker.
His rack from I found his match set last year. He looks identical.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like that's a management buck if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot him if I see him with a gun.
the one argument with the hey, what does have good genetics, what bucks have good genetics. If you're practicing good genetics in your herd for multiple years in a row, the chances are the does have that same, genetics in them as well.
Start shooting does. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that
So,
you could post
the more-
that link, but
Did you ever watch that?
It was interesting. That
I still
reading
think
that
I still
article.
think it matters. I mean,
Well, it matters
Maybe it's
because
my
if you
own
read it, it said
stubborn-headedness,
it
but-
comes down to like the food and the nutrition that you have on your property,
Yeah.
yeah.
the rain, and then what was the third one on there? There was a third one on there or something, but it said only 35% of their genetics
Get passed on.
get passed on to
Yeah.
the rack. The other is natural
Yeah.
Where they're at.
developments, and
Wherever, yeah.
so
Maybe true.
Did you ever see that thing?
maybe true. Just doubting the scientists.
Did
Well,
you
no,
ever see that thing on
yeah.
YouTube that Bill Winke had? Because he had that farm for 20 plus years, and he like kept shooting does and does and does like every single year. They shot a bunch of them, and their genetics just kept getting like better and better. Because I feel like, for one, like less social stress, so the bucks can go out and have their own bedding areas or whatever, and do whatever and
More food.
get bigger, and yeah, more food for them. Exactly.
Come winter.
Yeah.
That's probably one thing you see around, our area. There's so many deer, there's probably not nearly as many does being shot as there should be.
no.
I think there's a ton of does around where we're at. We
Yeah.
need to shoot some does.
Yeah, I think it's anywhere.
You guys gonna blaze away this
I
weekend?
could use some meat.
Might as well.
Yeah.
I haven't shot one all year.
I'm big on the doe harvest, improving your hunting.
That's
in a
odd
lot
for
of
you to
areas.
not shoot a doe yet.
Depends
know.
on where
I
you're
tried.
at, but
All right.
you haven't drawn budget. This
Let's not go into that.
Actually, no, I will get into that. So I was shooting at had a doe at 30 yards the other night. My brother Michael actually volunteered to come film me, and I had it out there. I'm like, I'm gonna try shooting it. Why not? I don't care. It's November 10th or whatever it was, but it was pretty slow that night. So I 30 yards, put my pin right on, tried to heart shoot it, and ducked my arrow, and yeah, saw her Sunday night limping. So I'm gonna.
really.
That's gonna be my number one target
Same.
for this week. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not good. As soon as
At
you
least you
get a
saw
shot
her.
like that, it's like,
And you kind of knew when you saw the penetration.
yeah,
the
it's not
spot
good.
there.
Another thing I gotta find shed hunting now is that arrow. Yikes.
Yep.
Happens to everyone, I guess. I was mad though, man.
Especially being dry all year long, and then you go
Yeah.
after it, and you're like, what?
Yep. Yeah, that sucks. But we have one fan question.
There you go.
Shout out-
First one.
Shout out Jordan Zimmer. Thanks for watching the pod. His question to us was, how do you access the bluffs around here? Or what's the best way to get around to access your stands in the bluffs?
That's probably a question for you guys more than us. We don't
Yeah.
have the bluffs.
Yeah.
We got some big hills, but not bluffs. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Me and Dustin, I would say we probably got the same answer.
Yeah, and a little bit of the same probably tactics apply with your bigger hills and stuff, but we generally use it's always with either four-wheeler or gator for a few reasons. For one, nobody wants to walk on top of the bluff in the morning. You're going to be sweating your tail off, and it that takes half hour in itself. So four-wheeler, we've actually had good luck with, and you still focus on avoiding the bedding areas the best you can, even if you are getting on top of a bluff. And depending on the farm, a lot of times they're not bedding on top as much as you would think they would, just because there's enough cover down low closer to the food.
And a lot of times up top, there's food sources above.
Yeah.
too.
Or
Yeah,
another
fields.
thing is in the mornings when we do go on top, we generally go there early mornings where we're beating most of the herd up to the bedding. So that's big. And in all honesty, we've had good luck with taking the four-wheelers right underneath a lot of the box stands or I mean, if you're hunting a ladder stand, you don't have that luxury, but parking it just kind of out of the way as much as you can. But you've seen it. You've seen us have success with it. Underneath some of our huts, we kind of just tin them in with some old tin and park a gator under there. And sometimes they'll even come on the backside of it where, they can it's clearly in sight, but, we don't have a whole lot of shiny windows, or it's not a real attention drawing color. Deer walk right by it. And I know one of your big target bucks a couple of years ago, my Uncle John shot it was like 175-inch clean 10-pointer, doing the same exact thing. He drove all the way up through the field because it's tough accessing a lot of what we hunt here. So we've had better luck to just driving four-wheelers or the gator, whatever it is, right through the deer. You're not hiding yourself, but there just comes to a point where they get used to it. They're used to farm equipment. They're used to people in and out of for whatever reasons.
What do you think? What would you do if you didn't have a UTV?
That's what I was just gonna say. That's nice if you have a trail or access to a trail. But the one spot on our uncle's farm that I get to hunt, super steep hill. I hunted the other day after I got back from Iowa.
Yep.
I actually walked out there in just my long johns and was like carrying all the rest of my camo because
you almost have
that's
to.
a good
sweating so bad.
It's a great move, yeah.
To me, you can, sure, but I don't know. It's something. If it's me and it almost becomes unhuntable. I mean,
you try to get in there super early.
I was going to say that's probably the only thing that, like you were talking earlier. You gotta get aggressive come rut. So it's not like I agree shit access. So I'm just not gonna go to that spot. Like I was saying, that one guy I saw that post. He gets in there 90 minutes before light. It's probably one thing you do, and you strip down to your underwear so you don't sweat your ass off. And
the same spot I'm talking about. I don't remember what day it was. Early November when it was snowing. I went to this spot way up on the hill, and I got there plenty early. Half hour before light at least. I think maybe even more than that. And I had 2 or 3 does were right next to my stand, blew at me a lot.
That's
like while I was getting set up. It's like that one of those times where like they wouldn't leave. They just stood there and blew at me for, it seemed like hours.
Yeah.
They finally left. I got set up and I saw one of the shooters that morning later. So it's like, I think you got to get aggressive because the deer moved on eventually, and I saw a shooter that morning after getting blown at for like a long
That just
time.
goes to show you too, with deer blowing at you, it's not the end of the world.
It seems like it in the moment. It's like, oh my God, I want to jump out of my tree.
Every time.
Like I texted you guys down in Iowa. I had that doe. I don't know what her deal was. I was just standing there. I was leaning up against a tree. I was comfy, not doing anything. It was calm. She must have just got a little sense I was in the area. Wasn't even looking at me. I was standing over there, and she's looking over there.
Yeah.
Stomping and blowing. She probably blew a dozen times.
This year, more than anything, I've seen deer blowing just that, like, sometimes it's a coyote or it's
random
something
stuff,
yeah.
But, like, she was blowing that whole time, and all the deer in the bean fields were just like, what the hell are you doing? They didn't even care.
Like, girl, it's fine.
Yeah.
Come out and eat some.
Back to his
She's
question,
known
though.
to be crazy in the
Come
herd.
back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to his question. If you have the luxury, to get a ride on side by side or 4-wheeler, we've done it in the past. You get dropped off right at the stand. They don't have any really effect to it if they're used to it. But after that, I think it's just aggressiveness.
Getting in there early.
It sucks. There's big steep hills, long walks, whatnot. But
would you
I
go
don't
in
know
there?
what else you're gonna do.
Would you go in there in the off season, kind of like maybe bring a chainsaw with and try to?
You could probably help
Make a
your path
trail up
out a
there.
little bit because
Yeah.
we've got a couple spots where you're not on a 4-wheeler trail and you're just kind of going straight to the stand off the side of the hill. And it sucks. It seems like you're just waking everything up in the woods, but it's almost just unavoidable in this area. You're just not gonna not go to that spot just because it's like, oh, that's a big bluff or whatever.
Only have so
we
many.
put out a
to
new
go.
stand this year that's kind of in that same scenario. It's on a bench, and you probably got to walk 200 yards just straight uphill.
Yeah.
And you're sweating to beat the band to get up there. But I feel like in the rut too, it doesn't matter if you're like quiet. I mean, if you're close to a bedding area, you might want to be a little more quiet. But a lot of the times when I'm going in, I'm just trying to get to my tree right away and trying to sit down and let everything settle for a while.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a really good answer for that. I think, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just kind of winging it.
Give
I
a
mean,
couple options. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
You don't know if they're going to be bedded close to you though, or if they're going to come from a mile away that morning too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe early season's different. I
Yeah.
mean, where you're heading to a spot and you're like, okay, I know they're here just off a food source or whatnot. But I mean,
Yeah.
now it's like you have no idea if they chase the doe 2 ridges over and gonna come back through on top. And I mean,
Yeah.
Say one of the biggest things with hunting the bluffs, obviously he touched on access, which it is tough, but half the battle with the bluffs hunting is wind direction and trying to get a consistent
Yeah.
wind. That's what's I think the more difficult than accessing it. Really,
those bluffs move around that wind.
they move
and-
around, and you can look at
wild.
your weather app. But the best thing to know is just know that area. When you get to that stand, say I've got a west wind now, and here in this spot, I'm really getting a
What's it
a
actually
northwest,
doing,
yeah.
instead of a
Mark
You
West.
know
Right.
what swirls in a spot. And yeah.
And sometimes it's not consistent, so you're
Oh, no.
you're screwed. But
And it was even,
wind scouting.
I'm gonna say more times than not, it's not consistent.
oh, no.
No.
Yeah, even down in Iowa my last sit, it said a north wind, and I'm sitting there, and it was calm most of the time, and all of a sudden the breeze kicked in. It was hitting me in my neck. I'm like, that's a freaking east wind right now. I mean, that is not a north wind.
And that's
Yeah,
not
that's-
even really much
Yeah.
terrain there. It's,
No, I mean,
up here it's way
it's a
worse.
So I mean, it's
Yep.
just coming off the hill and feeding down through the valley. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's not like you're hunting down
Yeah.
Kansas and whatnot, just flat. And I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it just bluffs just move everything. And
Yeah.
so I don't think there's a real good answer for that, Jordan.
What about the other
Try our
question?
best though. Yeah.
We have one more question from
Oh yeah. We have one more from Sean McRoberts. He says, let's talk about food plots. What to plant and when to plant and how to hunt them. So we'll go off that question. We'll just say like early season, what's your go-to and when do you plant them? And then like kind of throughout the year and kind of late season too. So early season, what's your favorite mix and when do you guys like to plant them?
We've been going to the chicory a lot in the last couple of years. It seems like they've been hammering that, and we've just got so much alfalfa on our farm. I mean,
Yeah.
that's to plant clover. It's like, I mean, we already have it there, so
Pretty
it's just
much.
something a little bit different. We plant that. I don't even know
hammer
when
the
we.
beans when they're still green.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
we've planted that the last couple of years, but I mean, usually that's a perennial. So I mean, we haven't had to
Yeah.
do that. And then we planted winter peas and oats the last couple of years at the end of
That's
July.
like Dad shot his buck a couple years ago over with our bigger food plot and all winter peas. And I thought it was insane that year how many deer were hammering that winter pea plot.
Hmm.
And that was rut time. So I guess I'm not even sure what to think for like earlier season though.
Yeah.
Like they
I've
go to
always
the
heard radishes early season and clover.
clover probably.
my
yeah, for
two
sure.
favorite things to hunt over.
I
Deer
don't
radishes
think
and
you
clover.
can beat alfalfa and clover. I mean,
Yeah.
early season, we've
Alfalfa,
tried
yeah.
the radishes and whatnot, and I'm just not really a fan. So we've stuck to
We haven't had much luck on our farm with turnips and radishes really.
Yeah.
no.
I'm going to plant a lot more lady luck next year. I feel like I love clover. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably because last year I encountered
It's-
Johnny in Cloverfield.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, it's a
that
year-round thing. I mean,
year-round
yeah.
thing. You do got to mow it a few times, but you're in an area where as long as you're not having weeds take it over, if you've got a fair amount of deer browse on it, you need to mow it
You'll keep
two, three times max a summer.
Once
Yeah.
you get it
keep it
established,
fresh,
and
yeah.
I mean, once it's established, you're good to go. I mean,
Maybe
like
even
you said,
Yeah.
You can plant it in you've had a lot of luck frost seeding too, right?
Yeah, go in
It's-
frost seeding. You
it's
can
a lot
even
of
do that
work
in the
going in
fall
there.
too.
It's a lot of work going in with a tiller and a sprayer,
Yeah.
and then planting it and packing it down and praying for rain. It's a process.
We plant a lot of our this year we planted a lot of that rack reaper blend. And after we went through and planted those all with the tractor, I'd go ahead and after with the broadcaster and just get that lady luck, get a little clover action in there because next year I want it to be like a clover plot. So
Mhm.
hopefully next year grow up. Nice lush clover.
I'm gonna try your because that one spot on Rob's up on top of the bluff. It's real rocky. It's tough to get in there with a tiller.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna focus on turning that into a clover plot where you know it's just more of a. I'm gonna try and frost seed it. You've had luck doing that, and actually I'm gonna do that with a couple of plots that we have.
Yeah.
Maybe even make a new one here.
All the plots in the timber, I would recommend doing clover over anything else because I feel like they just hammer them.
Your soil quality is a little bit tougher too to get good growth with the radishes. And
Clover can survive in the shade better. And
with as far as going into late season though, they do hammer green late season from in certain time. If you had a good catch of a crop, but it's hard to beat beans, corn. I mean, grain. It's grain. It's obvious. It's not it's usually not a secret if you're watching. Whoever it is, Kiskies, Drury's, whoever's hunting late season and having success, you watch. They're hunting on a bean field or a cut corn field.
Yeah, we've stuck to the basics. I mean, you got your clovers and alfalfa, and then just beans and corn, basically. I mean,
nowadays it's a huge draw because early on there's tons of beans and corn, but not the advanced farm equipment and stuff. You're not getting the the spillage that you did 15, 20 years ago with all the advancements. So when you do have your standing, whatever it may be, beans crops, it's that much more of an attractant. And it's huge. Yeah. Being able to get set up on that is monster. Biggest thing with late season is your access in and out. Because if you got to go right through your plot each time out of the blind or the tree, you better hope you get them your first night or two, because they'll catch on quick. But stuff.
It's always nice to plant like 20 yards from your blind or so too for the little kill plot if you got standing beans kind of around it, because I feel like they'll go through the beans and pick on them, and then maybe I'll come in here and get a bulb of radish or sugar beets or whatever
we do
it is.
And our winter peas and oats, it goes around, what do you say? I mean, within 30 yards around the two sides of it, and then outside of that it's corn and beans.
That's one thing that Mark Dre is the master at, is making little kill plots like that. He'll have like a huge field and you'll have just a bunch of green just coming together within 30 yards of the stand, and it's dynamite.
Food plot architecture, I think he calls it. It's kind of fun to do that stuff though. But
oh yeah, it's fun to just sit in the off season and think about it, then watching them actually do it. You're like, damn, I did that.
Me and Cole were texting one time and like took screenshots on Onyx and stuff of like the food plot area. We're like coloring in like where we want to plant and what we want to plant. And we like change it like 6 times, just barely changing it.
Yeah. Well, it's really fun too. I've noticed when you go in with the drone, like I'll bring the drone and you can see all the trails that kind of like come together. I'm like, oh, I know where I'm going to put a blind if I ever put a blind out there, because they all show up right there.
Yeah. Drones
are top tier too. A lot of deer scouting, a little simpler too. Well, episode 5, that's going to be a wrap. Good luck, everybody, out on the gun season, and stay safe, everyone.
Good luck. Send us your questions if you have them.
Yep, send
any
questions.
Try to cover more next time.
And big buck pictures. Hit us up in the DMs.